Don't rush the ring. Don't rush the ring. And Don't Rush the Ring, what's it all about? It's a life-giving guide for young adults navigating parental pressure and marital discernment. So my name is Bliss Cephas-Alokan, and I'm privileged and glad to be taking you through this presentation. So let's just go into it, what we have to say today. Yeah, so 1 in 3 marriages influenced by parental pressure ends in divorce. And that is a statistic that if you Google, you would see, or if you do your own research, you're likely going to get more facts. And that is why that's why we're having this session today, because we don't want to just go into marriages because of parental pressure that most likely will end in divorce. That's not the end goal. Divorce should not be the end goal of our marriages. Many who have been pushed or pressured into marriage end up feeling unfulfilled, broken, and bruised emotionally. Marriage is more than the event, it's more than the glamour. And that's one thing you must know. Marriage is not about the wedding ceremony. I know you're probably looking forward to wearing a white gown, wearing your suit, taking pre-wedding pictures, particularly with social media, the buzz around wedding ceremonies today. So I know we are all looking towards that, but marriage is still not an institution that you should rush into, whether because you are pressured by society or by your parents or by friends or even maybe yourself. It's an institution that must be treated as sacred, and you have to understand that. So let's go on. And also, one thing I want you to know is marriage won't necessarily fix emptiness. It will not fix clarity, confusion. It won't fix emptiness. It won't clarify confusion, pardon me for that, or replace growth. So marriage is not a solution to the loneliness you're feeling, or inadequacies you have, or the confusion you think you have. For instance, let me give this example. Maybe you are just finishing school, because I know we are talking to people who are graduates, or you are maybe in your final year, penultimate, or you are even done with school, postgraduate, and you're thinking, okay, well, after school, what next? Marriage. Maybe you're not sure about what next, and you feel, okay, well, let me just get married. No, marriage will not fix that emptiness. Marriage will clarify confusion, and it will not replace growth. So I'm going to show you 2 important tools that are necessary that you can use. The first one I'll be showing you is the 5 inner checkpoints that you can consider before marriage. And what this tool will do for you is to really assess yourself. When you go through these checkpoints, you're able to see, okay, this marriage that I'm being pressured into, am I even ready for it? Because you have to sit down and be able to reflect and think about some things. And when you answer some of these questions, then you know that, okay, this pressure is not worth it, or okay, well, I'm ready, but I know that the pressure is just taking me to driving me nuts, or taking me to another direction, but then I'm ready. Or you can say, okay, well, looking at this checkpoint, I don't think I'm ready for this. And the second tool I'll be showing you are 5 power moves for navigating parental pressure to marry, which is why we're here today. So let's move on. Now let's look at the first tool, 5 inner checkpoints, self-readiness discernment. Are you really ready for this marriage we're talking about? I'm very sure that someone wants to see what I want to say. Like, hey, I let me even hear this. Let me assess myself. Let me know. Am I really ready for this marriage we're talking about? So what's the first one? And now, as I'm reading out some of the questions, I want you to be answering them within you. If you have your journal, you can probably write down something, or you could just journal something that is striking for you, but I'm sure we'll be able to share some of our highlights very soon. So number 1 is purpose first and not partner first. Marriage should not be your first pursuit. Purpose should. A lot of people are depending on marriage giving them meaning, or they feel that living their lives now as individuals, they feel like they don't feel like life has a meaning, or their life is worth living. And then they're expecting that, okay, when I get married, maybe I'll marry a rich man, or I'll marry a man that's well-to-do. I know when I get his surname, if you're a woman, when I change my surname to his own, at least I'll be somebody. Marriage should not be your first pursuit. The first question I want to ask you is, currently, what are you doing with your life? I know maybe you're just finished school, or you're still in school, but even as you are getting that degree, or you are in that business, whatever it is you're doing, what are you doing with your life? What is it that you're building? Is your life worth living even as a single person? Is your life worth living as you are now? If you don't know what you're living for, you expect marriage to give you what only purpose can supply. It is not marriage that gives you purpose. It is purposeful people that give marriage purpose. Do you understand? So when two purposeful people come together, then that marriage becomes purposeful. But when you have two individuals who are not living purposefully, when they get married, there's no way that marriage is going to be purposeful, because you more or less you won't understand why you guys came together. You'll probably maybe just be cooking, flexing, hanging out. But is that all you want to do with marriage? So the first checkpoint is, how am I living my life as an individual? Am I living purposefully? Am I thinking about somebody coming into my life and giving me purpose? That's one thing I want you to look at. The second thing I want you to look at is, the second point is, be whole before you are two. So many people are looking forward to marriage fixing them. And when I mean you being whole, I'm saying, if you could marry yourself, would you marry yourself? People are looking forward to marrying the right man. You hear Mr. Right, Mrs. Right, you're looking for the right woman, the perfect woman, the ideal woman, blah blah blah. But if you were you, would you marry you? Think about it. As you are now, are you becoming the kind of person you hope to attract? Are you growing? Are you developing? Are you changing? What even makes you the right woman or the right man? Don't seek a partner until you've become the kind of person you hope to meet. That's another checkpoint that you want to really assess. So you should not put marriage before this kind of evaluation. You have to become the kind of person you are looking forward to marrying before you even get married. If not, you just become a liability to the person, because you come into that marriage with so much baggage, and honestly, that marriage will stress you out. You won't even enjoy the marriage. You more or less endure it. The third thing I want to say is, build capacity before romance. Are you building capacity before love comes into the picture? Marriage is 100-100. You don't bring half, you bring all. Now, when I say marriage is 100-100, marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is not, okay, if you do this for me, then I'll do my own back. That's not marriage. Marriage is not, I will treat me only the way you treat me. No. Marriage is much more than that. Marriage is you giving your all. You saying, okay, you know what? Even if I don't deserve this, or I don't see this from you, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to give my all. So can you forgive? Are you someone now that forgives without holding grudges? If you assess your forgiveness level, let me say your forgiveness ability, how are you doing with that? Do you know how to handle conflict without chaos? How are you doing when it comes to communication, when it comes to your relationship with people? How are you doing with that? Capacity, when I talk about capacity, I'm talking about your ability to resolve conflict, patience, your sacrificial love, your commitment level. Without these things, attraction fades fast. So you have love. Yes, love is important. In fact, feelings are actually important. Emotions are important as well. But there is also the aspect of marriage that demands commitment. And commitment is not 50-50. It's 100-100. You're even thinking about how you're going to outdo what the person is doing. So you're saying, I'm even looking for how I can even do more than what you're doing for me. That's what marriage is all about. So look at this question. Answer those questions in your heart. How am I doing when it comes to capacity? What's my conflict resolution level? And these are just few out of the many other areas you have to consider when it comes to capacity. The first thing I want to ask is developing a biblical view of marriage. If your view of marriage is distorted, your experience of marriage will be too. We have individuals, young people, or adults, whether you're matured, it's not even a matter about the age. It's not a matter of age, but what is your view of marriage like? Some people have allowed social media to define or determine their understanding or their view of marriage, and which should not be. If you don't have the right understanding of marriage, when you get into it, your experience will be distorted. So instead of being pressured into getting married now, you should assess your view of marriage and really sit down to get the true understanding of what marriage is. What do you believe about marriage? Is marriage for you all about the glamour? Is it about the money? Is it about getting his surname? Is it about relocating somewhere? Is it about flashing that ring, flashing that ring in front of your friends so that they know that, hey, you now have a man? Is it a social upgrade, a spiritual assignment, or just a checklist of success? Is marriage a box on your list that you want to tick, that, oh, I'm done with school, so okay, I've gotten married, tick. I have a car, tick. Is that all marriage is? If you don't define marriage rightly, you either misuse it, fear it, or idolize it. Now let's look at the last of the 5 inner checkpoints I want you to consider. Seeing beyond you. What will your marriage contribute? So many people don't think about this, and it's a major factor. It's something you have to bear in mind. God doesn't just unite people for companionship. Companionship is important, yes, but then it connects people for a greater purpose. Like I said, it is not marriage that gives people purpose. You give marriage purpose. You are already purposeful. You marry a purposeful partner. Both of you coming together give the marriage purpose. Marriage is like marriage is all about what you bring into it. So it's about the people more than it's not it's not marriage that gives you a sense of living. It's you that gives marriage a sense of living. So what will your marriage accomplish for the kingdom? And this is something you have to first of all sort out before you even meet the person, or before you get into a relationship with that person, so that when you meet that person, when you get into a relationship or courtship, you are able to say, oh, you know what, this is what I know my marriage should contribute to society, contribute to God's kingdom, contribute to our world, contribute to people. This is how I want my marriage to contribute to community and the generations to come. Don't just think about compatibility. Think about contribution. Your union should carry legacy. You're going to have children. You give birth to children, by God's grace. What kind of marriage will the children meet? Why are they going to be thrilled or glad that they belong to your family? These are things you want to consider. Now, let's look at the 5 power moves that you need to navigate parental pressure. If you have, and pressure may not just come from your parents directly. It might not be that they're saying, okay, get married. No, maybe from their actions, or from from the examples people they are comparing you to, or from your siblings. It might even be from what you're interacting with on social media daily. So wisdom when parents pressure you. So if this is for you, I want you to pay attention to what I'll be sharing today. The first thing I want to say is, do not marry under pressure. I can scream this and scream it and shout it on the rooftops. Pressure may lead to agreement. You might be pressured into getting married, and you might agree, okay, you know what, I don't want them to disturb me anymore. I'm tired of this noise. Let me just get married. Let me marry the person that they're saying I should marry, or let me just settle for someone. But it will never lead to alignment, because when you make a decision under pressure, you are likely going to fall into error, because you've not had enough time to consider the decision you're taking. You've not had enough time to count the cost. Don't make a covenant decision to please others or escape loneliness. Marriage should never be a response to manipulation or shame. And that's why you first of all even have to deal with your self-esteem. If the fact that you're not married yet, or the fact that you're not in a relationship yet, is making you feel, less of yourself. When you look at your maybe married friends, you feel, oh, well, these people they've made it in life. I'm struggling. What am I doing? My life has ended. You first of all have to even deal with self-esteem. So marriage is not even the solution. Respect your parents, yes, but remember that it is you, not them, that will live with the outcome. So if you are pressured into getting married and you bow to the pressure, when you enter the marriage, it will be you and your spouse in that marriage. Whatever issue happens between both of you, it is left for you to handle it. Your parents will not be there, society will not be there, social media will not be there, I will not be there unless you reach out to me. But what I'm saying is, you really have to count the cost before you take that step. The second thing you must pay attention to is, don't pause your life because you're waiting to be chosen. Your life should not be on standby because you're single. And that's why people tend to bow to pressure. Because, maybe when they are done with school, like I said, some people see it as, okay, graduate from school, go for your masters. After your masters, get married. After getting married, give birth and all. And so, because you are not married yet, you feel like, nothing is happening in my life is stagnant. No, your life should not be on standby. If the pressure is getting heavy, if you're being too burdened because of comments from people or your parents, Create distance. Refocus your energy on something. Go out and do something that you know you are passionate about. For instance, look at our sister organizing this program, reaching out to people. Hey, if you have an idea in your heart, you have similar burdens in your heart, spend your time doing that. You don't have to wait till you are married and you have one man that will support you. Maybe that's what you're thinking. Or maybe you're a man, you're thinking, okay, when my wife comes, we'll do this thing together, she'll be my support system. You don't have to wait. Life does not start with marriage. You can volunteer, study more, build a business, go on a retreat, whatever it is that reminds you that your worth is not tied to marital status. Just give yourself to it. Make sure that your life is so rich and full that marriage meets you in motion, not stagnation. Let it be that when the person comes, the person is even wowed that, oh my, you are living, you're so fulfilled with your life. And the fact that whether you're in a relationship or not, it doesn't bother you. And when people even see you, the joy that you will radiate, that you will exude, the happiness all around you, everything that is going on, it will make you attractive. I mean, but when there's nothing happening, in fact, some people might not even know that you're not married or you're not in a relationship. But when you're just there, you're the one calling everybody, you're the one scrolling through Instagram, you're not doing anything, you're not even asking God, okay, what will God have you do now? You're not thinking about how you can bless a life. That's when you will feel the pressure more. But I'm challenging you today to not put your life on standby. The third thing I want to share is bringing a voice of wisdom into the conversation. So sometimes it takes somebody your parents respect to explain what you cannot. So it is wisdom for you to bring in someone that that your parents maybe respect, listen to, because if you try to tackle this issue with them, it might not end well. So some people think, okay, the thing is just, as you're giving it to me, I'll give it to you back. No. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Apply wisdom. Your parents may love you, but they may miscommunicate their fears as false. So you can invite a pastor, a mentor, or godly elder who understands you and can communicate with honor on your behalf. So once you're able to communicate how you feel about this matter to maybe your spiritual leader or someone you see as a mentor, a spiritual guide, a guardian, or someone that you're accountable to, those people or that person can now communicate your own concerns or how you feel about this matter to your parents or whoever it is that is bringing pressure or that is mounting pressure on you. So the first thing is understand the real concern behind their pressure. Sometimes pressure is a symptom of deeper fears. So your parents putting pressure on you to get married may not be because they want to. It might just be that they do not know how to express how they feel or really communicate. It might be out of genuine concern. So your parents may fear your delay, they might fear your independence or even your choices. And what sounds like nagging may come from a place of love, fear, or cultural expectation. Like I said, there's the way society just expects that if you're not married by this age, there's something is going on, you will not give birth early, or you are a man, you can't be single at 40 or 30 and all that. But you want to really listen and, if possible, lovingly explain your perspective, because healing often comes from understanding. The problem you're having might just be resolved if you're able to sit down and communicate with one another and just allow that atmosphere of love to just be to take and overwhelm both parties, you and your parents. And the last thing I want you to remember is to pray strategically and relentlessly. God changes hearts faster than arguments do. Sometimes winning that battle might not be with words. It might be on your knees. The hearts of kings and parents is in God's hands. Instead of being anxious, you can intercede. Don't fight in the flesh what is best handled in the spirit. Pray for clarity, pray for peace, pray for wisdom, pray for divine alignment, even for yourself and your parents. Sometimes your parents nudging could be an indication that you should not miss a particular season. Other times it could be nothing more than pressure, or it could be just things being against you. So when you pray, when you spend time to pray about it, when you spend time to really intercede, you get clarity, and then you even get wisdom. You will get ideas and strategies on what to do in that period. So I want you to know that there is no reward for marrying early. There's nothing like last to marry is a fool. No, there's no reward for marrying early if it's done outside of God's timing. There's no shame in saying not yet. If anybody comes to you and saying, why are you not married at this age? But if particularly when you know that God has told you to wait, hold on, you're in a season where God is saying, hey, you know what, calm down, I'm going to resolve it, but just take your time. Don't be ashamed, don't be shy, don't be scared to say not yet. You can tell that person to their face, or even just keep silent. You just go about doing your thing, living your life, living purpose, being all that God wants you to be, and know that at the right time and the season He's going to settle you. Your singleness is not a curse. Let God write your story, and when it's time, you would not need to force the ring. The ring will fit. So this is me saying to you, don't rush the ring. When it's time, the ring will fit. So for me, this is me, Bliss Cephas-Alokan. You heard my bio. So from resources that I have for you, like host said, I have books that I've written on the context of relationships. You can get them. 400 questions to ask on courtship. I have Courtship with a Purpose, 30 tips for singles and courting couples, and these are resources that you might want to just get and dig into, and I know that you will be blessed by them. And but I'm going to be available to answer the questions that might come up for in this session, and I know we're going to God will guide us and give us the answers that we need. So this is me saying thank you.